What's going on, people? Welcome back. As you can see, I'm here to talk about Uncharted 4 in all its glory. Basically, I'm just going to throw in my 2 cents on what most reviewers and gamers who have experienced the game are saying, that it is great, that it is awesome, that it is a pleasure to play. I concur. I wholeheartedly agree. If you haven't done so already, go out and play this game because it is worth its weight in gold. It is that good. I'm not going to try to spoil anything, at least not in the first half of the video. I do have a theory, and that's when I'll get spoilery, but I promise to give spoiler warnings that this won't be the last Uncharted. This is not the last time we see these characters. But that being said, I'll leave that for the end of the video or for later on. I will, just sing the praises of this game and this series. I'm not even going to talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is a lot of fun. Listen, if you played Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3 multiplayer, this is more of the same. You're going to feel right at home. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great to play. If you've never played an Uncharted multiplayer, man, you're coming in at the right time because it is a joy to play. It is fun. It's entertaining. It is very cohesive gameplay. It is very challenging at times. It could definitely be competitive. But with the right team, it's fun, and I say give it a shot because it's not tacked on. They really put some work behind it. So give it a shot, and you might end up enjoying it. I know I am. So the meat and potatoes of the video is basically Naughty Dog, Uncharted series, and how great it is and how much I love it. And I'm just happy to play it. I just finished beating it recently, and like I said, I can't even come up with coherent thoughts on how to explain how much I love this game. It was emotional, it was satisfying, it was a great ending to the series, if it's an ending. But let's take Naughty Dog at their word. If it's an ending that ended on top, they added a few elements from other games, a little bit of stealth, a little bit of stuff from Last of Us, and they just, oh man, they just made a well-rounded story. I'm not saying it's perfect. There's a few plot holes here and there. The cover system, it's not the greatest. The hit detection's never been great. But as a whole, the whole experience, the whole game, man, I had so much fun with it. It is so hard for you to kind of lose yourself, for you to suspend belief that you are playing a game and you're actually this character. And there are times where I felt I was Nathan Drake. I was the one directing Nathan Drake. And the cinematic views, the backdrops, the scope of the game is so much bigger. They just stepped up and really raised the bar in this game that I don't know what other game can do that. Maybe Last of Us 2, maybe another Uncharted, which I still think is going to happen. But again, basically the game for me was perfect. Now, if you play the other games in the series, man, this was just beautiful Easter eggs, a lot of callbacks to the previous games, but nothing game breaking, nothing that if you didn't play those games, you was going to be lost or wonder what do they mean by this. It was well done. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and continue to talk about it because you can read reviews where they're going to go in depth, and I just enjoyed it. Now, here comes the spoiler part, so you're being warned. 3, 2, 1. All right, that's it. I'm going to talk about the end of the game. Now, Naughty Dog has said they're not going to make other Uncharted games. This is Nathan Drake's last adventure. And I have a theory that that's not true. That's not going to happen. And we will see these characters again. I'm not sure if it's going to be called Uncharted. I'm not sure if it's going to be handed off to a different character. But I do believe this game is going to come back again. This series, these characters somehow are going to come back. I just don't see how it can't. This game's already sold at least 2.7 million copies. That's pretty good in 1 week. Second, this is one of the major characters and franchises for this company, for Sony, for PlayStation. You're just really going to let it go? And with movies that have tons of reboots, tons of sequels, it's only 4 games, and technically it'll only be 1 game on this system. So I do believe that it'll happen. And then one of the things that the creators of Naughty Dog said, the reason why they were walking away is because that I think it was in a PlayStation Experience that they had said, well, listen, it's hard to keep this world grounded. It's set in a realistic manner, and it's just hard to keep doing this over and over and not get too far into fantasy or making it unrealistic. Really? I mean, if you played the Uncharted 2, there was some weird stuff there at the end. There's stuff in the multiplayer in this one where you're calling mysticals and doing all these things, and yeah, that's not too grounded, you know? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, so Nathan Drake is older. He has a child now. She could be like, you know, the head of the family, or she could carry on the family business. She could be like the Laura Croft of the Uncharted world. I mean, so many possibilities. You have Sam now, you know, Sully's still alive. I mean, Nathan and Elena are working together. She says she was, you know, not over the adventures. They're just doing it legit now. And the name of the game is A Thief's End. He's deciding not to be, you know, a treasure hunter, but they still are very much in the game. You know, they still have an archaeological company. You know, they still doing discoveries. They fronted their own company, and they bought one to do digs and, you know, excavations and things of that nature. And obviously, if you look at the end of the game, you see the evidence of that. There's magazine covers. They even have their daughter on the top of on the cover of a magazine that she's the youngest treasure hunter. I mean, little Easter eggs, little things that could be pointing on what could happen in the future. There was even a map in there where it showed them, like, it looked like the Bermuda Triangle, but it wasn't, but it looked similar to it, where what if, you know, Elena and Drake are doing some archaeological dig or something, and they get lost or something, and the daughter has to go find them, and she calls Sam and Sully, come help me find the parents. Or she's out, you know, an older or young woman, and she's out doing some archaeological thing, and something happens to her, and Nathan has to go rescue her. And he's kind of the older guy. Maybe he's taking up like the Sully thing, where, you know, he's the mentor now. I mean, it's very possible. This world is based, like, it started like with Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, and age, it's not really a factor when you're doing archaeological finds or when you're looking for treasures or things of that nature. They just choose not to do it in a, you know, in a threatening way or in an illegal way. You know, now they got permits. Now they're a legit company, so someone could hire them to go look for something, and who knows what mayhem could ensue. I mean, I just think Naughty Dog wants to take a break, and, you know, deservedly so. I mean, think about it. They could not come out with another Uncharted for a PS4, wait till PS5 or whatever it's called, the next gen. And right now, this one came out, what, 3 years after the system was out? So you wait for a few years when the next one is out. That's 8-9 years. We'll be dying for another Uncharted series to come back. I mean, listen, the possibilities are endless. All the characters are alive, and they have a kid who's into their world, who likes doing these things, and she could take up the mantle. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So that's my theory. That's why I think there's going to be further Uncharted, and maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe I just didn't want this ride to end, but if it did, man, it sure ended on top. Anyway, that's the video. Hope you like it. As always, you guys be good. You guys be safe. I'll catch you soon.